You're on the air. Welcome to Dead Air. Tell us what's been keeping you awake.
This happened when I was a kid. We lived in this old farmhouse just outside of Raleigh. My room was across the hall from what we called the extra room. Just a storage closet, really. It was always cold in there, even in the summer. But that wasn't the weird part. At night, it breathed.
You mean like wind?
No,
Like lungs? Slow, deep, in and out.
you could hear it if the house was quiet enough.
I used to think it was the wood settling or some dumb science thing, but then my older brother Danny started sleepwalking. Every time he'd end up standing right outside that closet, just listening.
One night, I followed in, and I heard it too, but louder, hungrier. Did you open the door?
No,
Danny did. I swear to Lord, the second he cracked it open, just south, no,
like it was holding its breath.
his dog planted breath. It's waiting for the right one, then walk back to bed like nothing happened. A week later, he vanished.
Vanished. No sign, no noise, no struggle, just gone. Cops tore through the house, never found anything. But here's the thing. 2 days after Danny disappeared, I heard the breathing again,
And it was faster now. Excited,
I never opened that door. We moved a year later, they sold the place. But I check online every now and then, Zillow, Reddit. The house goes back on the market every few years. Every listing mentions one bedroom unaccounted for in the square footage. Like the room is still there, but not on the floor plan. Like something's still holding its breath. And that, dear listeners, was call one. A room that breathes, a brother who vanished, and a warning. Just because a door isn't on the map doesn't mean it isn't there. You're on Dead Air. The mic is yours. What's been keeping you up tonight?
hey, yeah. So I used to work the graveyard shift at a gas station just off Route 27, middle of nowhere. One of those places that still used a bell on the door and a manual register. It was mostly quiet. A few truckers, the occasional drunk, and one regular. Came in every single night, 2:14 a.m. on the dot, tall guy. Always wore the same coat, didn't talk, just walked in, bought a coffee, exact change, and left. I thought maybe he worked nights too, until my manager told me something weird. Said that customer, the one in the coat, he'd been dead 7 years. Excuse me.
Yeah, died in a crash not 2 miles from the station. I thought he was messing with me, but then I checked the cameras, and there he was. Same guy, same time every night. But in the footage, the bell on the door never rang, and no one ever saw him leave, just vanished between frames.
Did you ever try to speak to him?
I did. Once, I waited by the register, heart pounding, and when he came in, I asked, "Hey man, do I know you?" He paused, looked right at me, and smiled. That was the first and only time he made eye contact. Then he said, "You will," and walked out. I quit that job 2 weeks later, but here's the thing. Sometimes I stop for gas on long drives, doesn't matter where I am. Sometimes I see him at another pump, walking across a parking lot. Same coat, same look, like he's waiting for the moment I recognize him again. And the second I do, I think he's gonna finish what he started. A regular customer, same time, same order, same death date. And if you see someone at a gas station tonight, maybe don't make eye contact, just pump and go. You're live on Dead Air. Go ahead, caller. What's been keeping you up tonight?
Hi. Yeah. This one, hard to talk about. My son was about 6 months old when it started. We had one of the old baby monitor, just audio, nothing fancy.
Every night around 2 a.m., I'd hear static, but not the normal kind.
This static, it had rhythm, like breathing. Sometimes whispering.
Could have been feedback, interference,
That's what I thought too, until I started hearing my voice.
not live, like recordings,
Things I had said it earlier in the day to my son,
coming back through the monitor, warped off.
Then came the crying.
but it wasn't his cry.
It was lower, longer, mocking.
The weirdest part, him sound asleep.
Did anyone else hear it?
My wife did once.
She picked up the monitor and held it to her ear.
Then she dropped it, ran upstairs,
When I caught up with force,
Were they holding up sus?
sobbing.
she picked up the monitor, hitting her name over and over.
Sarah?
But I wasn't home. I was still at work. Hadn't even called her that day. Did you keep using the monitor?
We unplugged it,
Switched to a newer digital one.
but now we taught it.
It still lights up, still breathes, even when it's off, even when there's no one in the room.
And sometimes, I wake up at 2 on Dixon and speakerlink my purpose not here. He's on your base.
Then it's quiet again.
Cleveland. But sometimes, twice he's smiled, and I can't tell if he's dreaming.
We're listening.
You don't need a fancy monitor to hear what's in the room. Sometimes the static speaks louder than the voice. And sometimes what's speaking isn't your child.
Welcome back to Dead Air. You're live on AM108.3. What's been keeping you up at night?
Hey, yeah. So I've been getting these voicemails.
Always the same time, 3:13 a.m. Every night for the past 2 weeks.
They come from a number that's one digit off from mine. Not blocked, not private, just off by one.
What do the messages say?
They don't.
At first it was just static, like someone breathing into the mic, but not saying anything.
Then it got weird.
I heard a voice,
My voice.
but slowed down, muttering. I couldn't make out the words, but it sounded like it was describing me.
Like what I was wearing, what I was doing, in real time.
Could someone be watching you?
That's what I thought. So I set up a second phone, recorded myself sleeping.
The next morning, new voicemail. Same time, except this one wasn't static. It was the sound of my room. Same fan noise, same creaky floor, then footsteps. Then, a whisper. Turn around.
And on the recording, I do. In my sleep, I turn toward the camera, eyes open.
But I don't remember doing it.
Last night,
I didn't get a voicemail.
instead,
My phone rang, same number.
I answered.
No sound, until I heard it, the same voice.
My voice. You're awake now.
Then a breath.
Right behind me.
I turned, no one there, but the phone. It was still on the line, and the call was coming from inside my room.
I don't sleep much anymore.
And when I do, I leave my phone outside. But every morning, 3:13 a.m., there's always a new message, even when it's turned off, even when the battery's dead.
In today's voicemail,
It was just 3 words. Let me in. Some calls don't come from the outside. Some come from what you've ignored too long. And if you hear your own voice, saying something you never said, maybe it's not your voice anymore. You're on dead air. It's late. You're not alone. Tell us what's been keeping you up tonight.
yeah. This is gonna sound dumb, but it's something my grandmother told me. She used to say, never answer the phone on the 5th ring. Let it ring 4 times, or let it go, always. I thought it was just superstition, some old world thing, until last year. I was in a weird place, living alone, rough breakup, didn't sleep much. One night, around 2 a.m., my landline rang. That's right, I still have a landline, don't ask. It rang once, twice, 3 times. I stared at it. 4 rings, then 5. And without thinking, I picked up.
What did you hear? Nothing. No static, no breathing, just silence.
Then a click.
Then, my grandmother's voice. But she'd been dead 5 years. Why did you answer?
I dropped the phone. It kept ringing. Plug twice, got twice.
Farver. Even when I unplugged it, even when I threw it in the trash,
That's night.
it rang again. Same time. 5 rings, but this time, I let it go.
It stopped on the 5th, but something else started. My lights dimmed, my fridge opened, my phone, the cell phone, showed a new voicemail. No number, no timestamp, just a voice, distorted, wrong. You broke the rule. I deleted it, smashed the SIM, moved apartments, everything. But sometimes, when I'm falling asleep, I hear a ring, not out loud, in my head, 4 times. And I know if I ever let it ring a 5th time again, whatever's on the other end, it won't be calling anymore. It'll be coming.
Some rules protect you. Some curses. Wear the skin of old wisdom. And if someone ever tells you, don't answer on the 5th ring, listen. Because that last ring, that's the one that lets it in.